firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That Gummit Duval fall in on a Tuesday, a two for Tuesday. We're going to have two from the Scorpions. We're going to have two from Travis Hunter, two from Led Zeppelin, two from Liam Cohen. We're going to have two from Jethro Tull. We're going to have two from Walker Little. It's all coming up. A two for Tuesday edition right here on your home of the Jaguars. Okay, another practice today. It was number 10, the Miller Electric Center. What an unbelievable facility. I was talking with former Jaguar, current police officer Jeff Kopp a little bit earlier today. He was out there with Sheriff T.K. Waters and others. As a matter of fact, Kopp and I were reliving 20-some-odd years ago, where he actually did the post game for USC. And we were the home of the Trojans when I was working in Chicago, and I was doing national radio. We were the home of the USC Trojans, and every year I would go back for USC and UCLA, and I joined him for a little bit. Petros Papadakis, Jeff Kopp, from a Hooters in downtown Los Angeles. And it was pretty cool. And Kopp had totally forgot about that. But he mentioned it. He's like, man, this facility, I mean, you got to be kidding. Actually, it was Jarrett Bell as well. Jarrett Bell from the USA Today in town. We're going to talk with Jarrett coming up on Thursday night, one of my all-time favorite NFL writers. But, yeah, I mean, just spectacular. The entire day today was in the shade. They actually practiced on the nearest field. And that was pretty cool. I think today was the final day for fans. It was a day that was dominated by defense. There's really no other way to say it. The offense did struggle. The biggest story was Travis Hunter. He went both ways. We watched him put on a white penny. He had the teal jersey on, playing wide receiver, put on the white penny, and then went over and did some defensive work. I guess officially during 11-on-11, he gave the Jaguars today 9 offensive plays. He gave the Jaguars 9 defensive plays. But what was crazy about this was like during a 6-play package, if you will, that ran consecutively, he never came off the field. And he switched sides of the football. And he just continues to incredibly impress. Watching him get off the ball is really an experience, and I think he is going to be so difficult to cover. And he can run a variety of routes. Now that it's been open to the public to see and everyone to, kind of get somewhat of an understanding as to what this Liam Cohen offense is going to look like. I mean, his route tree is pretty advanced, and I see him running a lot of routes where he's going over the middle part of the field. Now, I'm not saying make him a sideline guy only or make him a deep ball guy only. Certainly, I would love to see him, right around the perimeter. I think getting Travis Hunter the ball behind the line of scrimmage makes sense. I also think that's the case for Diami Brown. But I do slightly hold my breath when I see him running those type of patterns, crossing patterns, middle of the field, because I still think he's going to have a bullseye on him. I think when it's all said and done and you go from team to team and they're going into the locker room and, they're asking question and question and question to their opponent about how you're going to stop Travis Hunter, this is a very proud league. And there's already been a few folks who have come out and said they think this is the best way to defend him. It's going to be pretty interesting. But again, today, it was a very good one for Travis Hunter. That is without any question the best part of what we did witness today offensively for Jacksonville, it was a bad day. And Liam Cohen said it. He came out and told us it was the worst day up front, particularly in pass protection. Now, if the offense has a bad day, that makes the defense have a good day. And that was really the case today during 11-on-11. It also appeared to be the case today when they did individual drills, including some 2-on-2s that I'm trying to remember, we didn't see hardly any of that, if we saw any of that, a year ago or the last 3 years with Doug Peterson. Working on that today, the OL against the DL and combination sets of 2 offensive linemen against 2 defensive linemen. Defensive line dominant. Trayvon Walker is having a spectacular camp. I mean, I want to calm down, but this guy's getting 2 or 3 sacks every single day. And, I'm going to be really fascinated about how they're going to use him. Smoot, it appeared, had a really good day today. And what do they have as far as the guys that can spell, Ogba included? Are we going to keep Hines Allen and Walker on the edge and hope that you get a little something out of the interior? Or are they going to push some buttons here and, I don't know, maybe slide Smoot inside, maybe slide Walker inside and put Ogba on the other side of Hines Allen? At least there's a few options here. There were none, obviously, during the Trent Baalke regime. But I can't stress enough just how good Trayvon Walker. Hey, listen, I'm on record. I wouldn't pay him yet. I'd ride this out. He's not going to be a distraction. He's not going to be a McLaren. He's not going to be a Hendricks. He's not going to be a Parsons. He's not going to be, a James Cook in Buffalo. He's not going to. He just doesn't appear to be that guy. He's got 2 years remaining. I've always been that way. I was that way on Trevor. I wouldn't have paid Trevor when they did, and obviously I do understand that contract doesn't kick in for Lawrence until next year. But boy, he has really been good. And then, Trevor comes on and says the same thing. He said today he thought they were slow offensively, thought that they were sluggish offensively. And to get both the quarterback and the head coach say it, listen, I've been covering this team forever. This is not a first, all right? This happens quite a bit. And it was just a really bad day. But I think it brought us now the biggest question of all. And it's always been my sticking point. It has always been my concern. I've hollered about it for years. I still don't trust the offensive line. I just don't. I think it is a massive Achilles heel. You look at this team right now, and it's the defensive line that sticks out. The Armstead story is growing like my grass. It really is. I mean, this thing is, by the way, it's been at least 15 minutes since there's been rain on my grass. The Armstead story really stinks. And we'll get to that on the other side. I don't have enough time right now. I did watch Mason Smith a little bit today. I'm not a doctor, although I did watch some of the practice today with Dr. Kevin Kapman. Out of respect, I would never ask him ever, even off the record, ever, about an injury to a Jaguars player. It's totally unprofessional, in my opinion. So I've known him forever. I'll never ask, nor have I ever asked. But it feels like he's close. Just watching him move. They haven't even officially told us what the injury is. I think most out there have an understanding. But it's the offensive line, man. And I was just talking about it with Frank and Hayes. I mean, right now it feels like Chuma Edoga is one of the 5 best. And, when we come back and talk about that, because Wyatt Milam was moving all over today, I thought it was a good day for some of the rookies. There was some good today. There was. But that did not include the offense. Boy, did they really struggle, and that is disappointing. So, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Today was one of those days offensively where maybe I didn't need 2020. It's good to have it, and I want to thank Shmunez Vision for that. Hey, I understand you're busy, right? Kids, everything that's going on, summer camps, activities. Stop the delay. If your eyes are bothering you, if you can just tell that your eyesight is not what it once was, make an appointment. Just go to Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. Get the very latest as far as a prescription, and then ask questions. You may be a candidate for laser eye surgery. Can you imagine the rest of your life having 20/20, never having to fumble around for your readers, pass out with your contacts on? Nothing. Just 20/20. And unfortunately, there are serious issues with eyes. When you look at Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt, you're talking about well more than 30 years worth of experience when it comes to surgery. Those are the same three individuals that will take you through the entire process and perform surgery. It's Shmunez Vision. All right, when we come back, let's bring in Dylan Denmark on into the night. And let's get to this. I mean, there is no shortage of, I think, 4 or 5 really big storylines that are growing right now for the Jaguars as they have entered week 3 of training camp. We're going to go through them. We're going to have a whole heck of a lot of fun. He's Dylan Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
From the huddle to the perfect spiral.
We invite you into the lab so that you can truly learn the quarterback position.
The quarterback whisperer. He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drip. Wrapped up by George Moore Chevrolet and Tyson Sound and Security on 1010XL.
Experience the Jacksonville Rock Orchestra as they bring to life the legendary sound of Journey.
Took the midnight train going anywhere.
Feel the power of Faithfully. Rock out to Wheel in the Sky and sing every word of Don't Stop Believing. Friday, August 8th at the historic Florida Theater. One epic night of the Jacksonville Rock Orchestra featuring Journey. Get your tickets at floridatheater.com.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Matt and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
It's the Gator Podcast Channel with Frank Frangie and me, Dan Hicken, on all things Gators. Hacker and Denny Thompson have Gator Bites, and you can find them wherever you find podcasts or at 1010XL.com. Presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The 2025 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday, August 9th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field for the first time this season, and grab your tickets for a 7 p.m. kickoff by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you soon, Jags fans.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Who says there's no free lunch? Join me, Prosser, and Jaguar and Gator legend Fred Taylor for free food and football talk Friday, August 8th at the Alhambra Theater. When you hear this...
Bye-bye! Brock Marion Dill chasing a 90-yard run.
Be caller 28 to win a pair of tickets to a free lunch with Fred. Doors open at 11. Jags talk, Gators talk, football talk, including a 1-hour Q&A with Freddie T, and we're buying your lunch. Stay tuned for this sound to win your tickets.
Bye-bye! Brock Marion Dill chasing a 90-yard run.
Courtesy of Jenkins Hyundai and Genesis of Jacksonville on Atlantic.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Some German rock. And it's got a little swing to it. Right here. Uh-huh. Absolutely. German bands. How about German beers? I think Germany would have outstanding beer. I don't know if I've ever really consumed a German beer. How about you, Dylan Denmark?
That'd probably be a negative. Not a beer drinker.
But they're heavy. Not a huge. Listen, you know what? Guinness will actually surprise you. It looks heavy. It's frothy. You know? Today, the offensive line was frothy. It was sloppy. They had 5 penalties. Maybe they need to go out and just have a night of Guinness and sweat it out tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center. But I think Germany would produce great beer. And listen, don't waste my time and tell me about this room temperature stout or something like that. No. I like it ice cold, and I like it tasty, and that's the way we're gonna roll. How you doing, Dylan?
I'm excellent. The Eric Armstead news was the first thing out of Liam Cohen's mouth, and I thought of you. What was it the other day that they're going to fly him in for 17 games? You were lying. What do you know, Rick?
Yeah, and this story is taking on a life of its own because, we were told that he was fine and that he's not injured. And then all of a sudden, right before the scrimmage on Friday night, there's a text line that we are a part of with Jaguars public relations, and we got it, an hour or so, 2 hours before the scrimmage, saying he's got a back, and he's got a back injury. And, that was all new. So this all goes away if he shows up and plays well. And what is really disturbing to me about this, or unsettling to me about this, is I heard from impeccable sources that he did everything possible this offseason to completely eliminate what had transpired a year ago. He was great in the Miller Electric Center. Everything that this new staff brought in, he was a big part of it. His leadership was absolutely fantastic. And, I spoke with him. I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago. And we have a young intern here who's probably 19, 20 years of age. And he even looked at me after and said, boy, he didn't seem happy, did he? And I'm like, no, I don't know if what's going on. Either he's heard comments I've said about him, or there's legitimately, something going on with Arik Armstead. But you have to understand, and most Jaguar fans do, that this is a totally new defensive scheme. He needs to practice. he needs reps. And he is a huge leader of this football team. Even though he sucked a year ago, he's still being counted on to make a huge turnaround this year. So maybe he's really hurt. Okay? I just, we were talking about Rafael Devers today. I was talking with some folks about how he refused to go across the diamond, play third base, go to first base, making $36 million a year. And what does that say to your teammates? Here in town, I would think Arik Armstead, Walter Payton, Man of the Year award. Again, told during the offseason, during all OTAs, minicamp, and other times when the media was not around, that he's been absolutely sensational. Then all of a sudden, it has been a mystery. He's on a milk carton so far right now, 10 days in to training camp. And we'll get to it perhaps a little bit later on, what Liam Cohen had to say about it. Cohen basically said that I would think he's going to be ready for the start of the year, but it's hard for me to say right now. That was the quote earlier today from Liam Cohen. Tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. The good folks over there, check them out online. Just go to Alexander Law Practice. And, as you see right now, whether it's raining or not, regardless of what's going on, the driving nowadays is brutal. It's awful. And how careless people are. If you have been injured and you are hurt, you are alone, you're in the hospital, you can't get to work, your car has been crushed. No matter what the situation is, pick up the phone and call the Alexander Law Practice. 400-6600 for a free review and ask questions. You'll never come out of pocket. You're talking about Rick Alexander, more than 30 years worth of experience. They are there for you. First off, you're going to get a call back immediately. Secondly, you're going to get the individualized care that you deserve. And again, nothing out of pocket, right? You may need your car fixed. Well, call Alexander Law Practice. Ask them. You may need bills paid. Call Alexander Law Practice. Ask them. You're not alone. There's people out there who want to help, and that certainly is the good folks at AlexanderLawPractice.com. Again, free review, 400-6600. All right, help me through the new clock here, Dylan. Where are we? And
we got 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes. Good. Okay. Let's get to another big story, and that is Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, he has not had a good camp. There's really no other way to say it, and I am a firm believer that I'm a firm believer that he's a better game day player than he is a practice player. And that's not necessarily rare. Okay. And I'm not talking about an Allen Iverson practice here. I mean, the effort is there. He's giving it his all, but it just feels like it's off. If you were to attend these 10 workouts and watch Thomas Jr. compared to Hunter and compared to Brown, who are both first-timers with Trevor Lawrence, you would think that they were ahead of Brian Thomas Jr. It's really difficult to explain, and I don't think it's necessarily that alarming, but I just feel with everything that's going on, you would like to see this thing begin to progress a little bit. But anyway, I talked with Trevor Lawrence earlier today, and I asked him that same question about the relationship and how it's going with Lawrence and Thomas Jr. Friday night was the best combination yet with you and Brian Thomas Jr. Frustration a little bit on Sunday and before that. Where are you right now with Brian?
Yeah, I mean, this is something where timing with receivers is so important. Chemistry, that connection, all that stuff, and then when you change offenses, it kind of resets a little bit because there's new routes and there is some carryover for sure. Everyone does similar things, but just the communication and talking, I think we've made some big steps since the spring. And you got to think too, we didn't get to play a full season together, so we've been trying to build that and be just in lockstep and always know each other's thinking. And when we get those one-on-ones, making all those plays, giving them opportunities, always giving them a chance to get his hand on the ball, and has been some frustration, I think, from both of us, and just offensively, because there's been some where, I might miss a throw, I might not make a contested catch, maybe they push coverage to them, and there is days where it's a little frustrating, and that's stuff you work through in practice, and we both expect a lot out of each other, and I think that's the cool thing about our relationship is we expect to make all those plays, so it's frustrating when you don't, and like I said, we just got to keep working it and he's such a great player, you just keep giving him all the opportunities and putting the ball somewhere where he can get it, and always giving him a chance is really important.
So there you have it. Trevor Lawrence today on Brian Thomas Jr. saying the right things, but I was glad that Trevor didn't try to shy away from that. It's obvious. It's been a talking point. And, Edgar Bennett, you would have thought that not most, I guess that's fair, most of his attention would be on the route running of the rookie, right? Get Travis Hunter, who's been so gifted and so athletic that he hasn't had to run sharp, crisp, disciplined routes at Jackson State or Colorado to get by defensive backs. He was just so good that, you could cheat a little bit. This isn't a knock on Hunter. It's just the truth. Great wide receivers do this all the time in college. Well, you can't get away with that here. And I actually began the program 28 minutes ago just talking about Travis Hunter and just how difficult he is to cover. But I would have thought that would have been it. I mean, there's no testing. I mean, there's no trouble with his endurance and, his lack of fatigue and certainly his hands. He's had one drop that I'm aware of in 10 practices. Okay. I mean, really, really good. But it didn't feel like that, and some people some national people knocked his route running during the, summer when you would no pads on and you go and throw OTAs and stuff like that. He has improved immensely. As a matter of fact, it's been quite some time since you've really heard anyone question what Travis Hunter is doing as far as the route running. But it's a little different here with Brian Thomas Jr. And, I'll look it up again. I want to say he had 7 drops a year ago. But he also caught, 90 balls? And, lost in all of this, and something that has to be remembered by Jaguars fans, Mac Jones actually threw more footballs last year to Brian Thomas Jr. than Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, Trevor Lawrence did not target Brian Thomas Jr. all that much early on in the season. That's big right there. For the record, I think they're going to be fine. But, I don't think it's going to be perfect. I think there's going to be some miscues here, some miscommunication. And perhaps more importantly, let's get right to it. Too many drops. Too many drops by Brian Thomas Jr. And, that's alarming to me. And it should be alarming to you. We'll see what ends up happening. All right, we got much more to do. Let's continue on. Let's get to Liam Cohen. Some interesting stuff from him today about the game coming up against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday night. And let's hear from Walker Little. Caught up with the offensive lineman today after an interesting practice for the offensive line, but Walker Little seems to be the guy set at left tackle after getting that contract. Caught up with him earlier. We'll play that as well.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
A new era of women's professional soccer has arrived. The Gainbridge Super League, redefining the game for the next generation. Sporting Jacks, the first ever pro women's team on the First Coast. Be there for history. Secure your tickets now at sportingjacks.com.
Hacker here with a cool story to share with you guys. Everybody knows I've lost a lot of weight thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. But how about this? I went into my closet a couple of days ago, pulled out a shirt from 2019, and was able to put it on for the first time in over 6 years. That's what happens when you lose over 100 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The guidance I get from Coach Kate, I've met with her every week, every step of the way. She was encouraging me. She was guiding me. She was giving me instructions. It made the plan so simple, and the weight absolutely fell off. Look, if it's time for you to lose weight, like it was for me, do yourself a favor. Do your family a favor and call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or go to awaken180weightloss.com. They can change your life. I know this because they've changed mine. Now it's your turn. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
My feelings are hurt. Someone send me a German beer. I have been called out by photojournalist my buddy Logan Bowles at Photo Bowls. Said, Ballou, Germany is the king of beer. Pilsners, Dunkel, Weissbier, Marzen, Festbier, on and on and on. Without Germany, you wouldn't have your Pilsners, Pale Ale, or Lager. So you have many German beers. Okay, and he dropped an LOL on me as if I have no idea what I'm talking about. But here's my point. I mean, give me a German beer. I'm just thinking of like imports. Labatt's Blue is probably my all-time favorite import from Canada. It's just a really, really good beer. But, of course, I've drank Heineken. I go to Jamaica every year. All they serve there is Red Stripe. Yeah, I love Presidente from the Dominican Republic. I love an Amstel Light. Love Modelo. Oh, man, the boys were crushing Modelos yesterday at the Furyk and Friends golf tournament at Timuquana, and of course, I'm a pro. I would never sip, not even one, before I went on here. I just wouldn't do it. But they look tasty. Beck's is a beer I used to. You know, that's just a handful. I'm just asking for a name. Give me a popular German beer. by name. I just gave you what? How many did I give you there? 7 or 8 imports that I actually like. So there you go. Not to mention Guinness, right? So there you have it. All right, let's what do we got here? Up until 42. Let's get back to Liam Cohen, and I'm really starting to admire the way that Liam Cohen handles his pressers. He doesn't shy away from anything, okay? And no matter what the question is, he's going to give you a little something as far as an answer. And, he did that today when talking about Arik Armstead. He gave him the benefit of the doubt, saying that he's a veteran and saying that he thinks he's going to be able to get his body ready. And, I've always been one of those guys that tries to read between the lines, whether it's body language, facial expressions, tone of voice. My opinion only, okay? He's not thrilled about this. He's not. Now, again, I don't know what is going on with Arik Armstead, but I appreciate the answer. Let's get to this, too, because, it's going to be fascinating. Here we are, midweek, Tuesday, don't really know what's going on. I asked Liam Cohen earlier today, what are your plans? How much will these starters play on Saturday night?
Not yet. We're still working through it. We wanted to kind of get through these next 2 padded days to evaluate, see where we're at as a group before making that decision. We've obviously had conversations as a staff and with Tony and James as well. But we're going to let these 2 days play out, see what it looks like, and make a decision from there.
All right. So that was that. Then I responded again with another question about how, in my opinion, it's not a perfect science. Right now that we've gone to these 3 games in the preseason and not 4, I think there used to be kind of an unwritten rule or a really good feeling during 4 preseason games about how you use your starters. That's not the case. I mean, just look at a year ago. Jacksonville didn't face a starting quarterback in any one of their 3 preseason games. So I bounced back with Liam Cohen and asked if he has spoken yet to Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin about how to use the starters.
Yeah, I texted Coach Tomlin last night, so we're touching base today at some point here to just get on the same page, about what they're doing, what we'd like to do ultimately. We'll have to ultimately make that decision tomorrow, but we're going to touch base today, yeah.
Coach Coughlin out there today, John Gruden out there today, former head coaches. And, I just thought that how much this game has changed. Can you imagine Tom Coughlin talking to an opposing coach, even in the preseason, about strategy on how to use players? And I think, with everything that does change, this only makes sense. It's the preseason. Right? I have no problem at all. Hey, Mike, what are you doing? You going to play Aaron Rodgers? Are you going to play your starting defense? You're going to see Jalen Ramsey in action coming up here. I don't think for the life of me that Jalen Ramsey steps on the football field once toe meets leather on Saturday. But it makes a lot of sense. And I think the perfect scenario here is that it benefits both teams. How much do you really get by sending out your starting offense against 2s and 3s in Pittsburgh? You'd love for them to have their starting defense. I mean, Jacksonville's won 6 straight preseason games. All right, check their record in September. I know they dropped the 0-4 on you a year ago. Not only that, I know they did it with a smile on their face. They looked at you as a fan base and said, watch this, man. Speaking of German beer, you were forced to switch to Scotch, okay, right after the Travis Etienne fumble at Miami, because what the Jaguars said to you in 2024 is you will not enjoy anything at all during the 2024 season. September, 0-4. So This is a new regime. Breath of fresh air. And everything's on the up and up right now, except for the ditch. The ditch is scary. I mean, it is. We just don't know what's going on in the ditch. And I think that that's progressing in the NFL. Get with the other coach. You know, some coaches will have more influence over others. I don't know. Should that change your game plan? That's a great conversation. We talked about collaboration, this staff, Baselli, Gladstone, Cohen. Hypothetically speaking, what if they were to get a quarter and a half? Right now, their blueprint is a quarter and a half on offense and defense. Well, what if they talk to Mike Tomlin and he says, no, we're not going to play any of them. We're going to wait till week 2. Do you change? Do you give them a couple of series? Fascinating. I mean, you usually don't put that much thought into the preseason, but I think 4 games to 3 games, you have to. And, you know, I would be really, 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 really surprised if they did a deep dive on what they did a year ago during the preseason. But again, Jacksonville's won 6 straight preseason games. And you see what happens once the regular season comes around. So maybe this is another way of this new regime looking at things. Or perhaps I've just totally overthought it. That's fair as well. If you want to react, 641-1010, text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, let's welcome those in tonight on YouTube. Always a pleasure. 1010XL into the night. All right, we got much more to do. I want to tell you about some rookies who played well today. As well, I want to play the interview I did with Walker Little. We got a lot, and that includes your phone call, or excuse me, your text, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And again, on YouTube, 1010XL into the night.
It's a new season.
I like where this team's headed.
A new era.
The fan base has been great.
A new hope.
We're all here to win.
Yes! This is where the dream begins. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Saturday at 7 on 1010XL.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through August 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Clean and Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
The time to buy an emergency generator is before you need it, not when you're sitting in the dark. Storms happen in a hurry in Florida, so be prepared. Protect your family and property with American Electrical Contracting. Call them today, 737-7770.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm told now by one of our listeners on the text line, 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, that Beck's beer is from Germany. From the German city of, is it Bremen or Bremen? I don't know. Still trying to figure out things here, and looking forward to someday, Dylan, getting to all 51 states here in the United States. Okay. Hey, you just learned something. What do you have for us?
So I saw this came out about an hour ago, I guess. Let me read the official headline from CBS Sports. NFL issues ban on ammonia inhalers, smelling salts during games due to negative side effects.
Wow.
And apparently George Kittle was not happy. Apparently he used smelling salts almost every drive.
Man, let me tell you something. I spent 8 years as a sideline reporter. That, and there may have been a time or two where one got thrown pretty close to my feet, and I had way too many Beck's beers the night before. You get a smelling salt in you, it is going to knock the snot and everything else out of you. This is a big deal. These players use this all the time.
Yeah, I've seen Baker use it. I'm sure we've seen a couple of videos around the NFL. I've never used it.
Coaches use it.
Yep.
I mean,
what's the negative side effect for a smelling salt?
No, you just told me. I wasn't aware of the story. There's a fresh story, but this is not going to be received well by the league. It's not out in front for everyone to see. I'm not saying they hide it. They certainly don't promote it, but it is something that is part of the preparation for a lot of players. I would love to know what the percentage of players are in the NFL that actually use those.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, but the side effects.
I'm guessing 20%, maybe 25%.
That probably sounds about accurate. I'd probably say as low as 15. Side effects are nasal and lung remembrances, coughing, airway constriction, irritation of the eyes, nose, and throat.
You can put some tape on that.
But,
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they did their studies. It's all about getting to that 18th game. Hey, guys, we're going to ban smelling salts, but we're going to take you from 17 to 18. I mean, it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. With time, the timing here is really bad. Okay, I haven't witnessed anyone using these salts during training camp. Okay, I've never really given it much thought. Aren't they over the counter? Can't you go to a pharmacy and pick those up, or is that something that has to be, prescribed to you? I wonder where else they're used.
You can buy on Amazon right now for about $30.
Really? I wonder who else uses them. I wonder if rock stars use them. You need to get up for a concert. It used to be all drugs, but, especially these classic rockers now who surround themselves with younger musicians, for the most part, they're off the dope, and they're making way more money now than they ever did when they were, in their prime. Maybe rock. I don't know. Coffee works for me. Maybe there are people in the business world that roll out of the rack and crack open a smelling salt, and that's all you need. You're ready to go for the day.
Or Marshawn Lynch take a shot of Hennessy before the game and give you to the rock 30 times, my boy.
And eat a pound of Skittles during the game?
Yeah. Half a bag of Skittles.
Man, I'm surprised by this story. I am. Okay. Well, there you have it. That rolled in not too long ago. All right, let's get ready for... Actually, we got a couple of minutes left. Bayshell Tootin, really good today. And I missed him since he's been out with a hamstring. I know the last couple of days he's been involved in some individual drills. But he was back with the team today. And it was not a good rushing day. It was a bad day for pass protection. And obviously, when I'm talking about Tootin here, not running with the ones, but he just looks the part. I thought that was encouraging today to see what he did. And then you get the Wyatt Milam, who's playing all over the place. I mean, he was taking snaps today at left tackle. I wish I could say that I have noticed him, but I haven't. It doesn't mean that he's not progressing. I just, again, you're watching 90 guys, and I just haven't seen anything yet. Talking with some people, he's obviously a huge part of the future. And, the belief is that there's some legitimate nasty right there, which, is really lacking within this offensive line. But a good opportunity there for Milam, something that I want to get into a little bit next hour, and you can contribute as well. And again, I think it's going to be a huge talking point. It has been the entire offseason, but it feels like now that Chuma Edoga is going to be amongst the starting five offensive linemen. You can make the case that he has been the most consistent offensive lineman so far. I don't know where he's going to be. He's worked at right guard. Today he worked at right tackle. Anton Harrison's your starting right tackle. He worked at left tackle during the scrimmage. I want to believe that their thought there is that if something happened to Walker Little, who has been injury prone, they would flip Harrison from the right to the left, so get him some work. I don't know that. Fred Johnson, who some projected would be the starter, he has struggled. He was flagged a couple of times today for false starts. They had 5 offensive line penalties today. He was flagged a couple of times during the scrimmage on Friday night. So who was the other guy that retired? Daly. Was it Dennis Daly? I watched him run on the field late Friday night, and I was like, what? And I was like, look at this guy loaf. Look at this guy moving. If there was anyone who needed a smelling salt, it was Dennis. I mean, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I know they're coming towards the end here, but this guy just barely made it into the huddle. And then, Dennis Daly. And then, sure enough, he announced his retirement, like, right after the game. It was pretty, I thought it was a hoot. 6 years out of South Carolina. All right, hour number 2 is coming up. He's, of course, still in Denmark. I am Rick Ballou.
Knee deep in Duval.
Duval.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at everbank.com/London.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers, the right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 5th, 1936, Jesse Owens wins the 200-meter dash, getting his 3rd Olympic gold medal in the Berlin Olympics.
Attention sports fans, are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the big games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Bet anywhere, win here, only at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has been a legend on-road. They've branched out to their off-road division as well. Give us the latest on what you can find on the asphalt.
They've got some great new products. They've got the Scrambler 400s you can get into for a little less than you might think. It's a great price point bike, but still a Triumph.
So affordability is also part of the equation.
It is, and it looks good, and it rides good.
CyclesofJacksonville.com, or check them out on their Facebook page, the showroom ready and waiting for you on Atlantic near Regency at Cycles of Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hour number 2. Into the Night. Tomorrow they'll be back at it. Miller Electric Center. That'll be the deal Wednesday and Thursday off Friday. Saturday night, Jacksonville and Pittsburgh at the Bank. 7 o'clock. Of course, we'll have it all for you right here on both stations. 92.5 FM, 1010 on the AM. And it's even right now if you are a gambler in the preseason. Straight up even. The total 35.5. The 9846 says it's a little dated, but Lowenbrau is German. I used to love Lowenbrau. That was like one of the first beers I ever drank. Remember those mini bottles? They were like 7 ounce, 8 ounce when you're like a high school kid. that was it. And just kind of went away. Don't know what happened to Lowenbrow. But, that was a lot of those beers from the 70s went away, 80s went away, like Schlitz. That was huge. My dad always drank a Schlitz Light.
I didn't know until growing up. I guess you were growing up too. You could only get Coors out west.
Oh yeah,
Colorado, and it was a big deal once it finally got out east.
Huge deal when they came to Boston. Oh my God, it was huge. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was Coors for a few years until they came up with Coors Light. I may be wrong with that, but we'll see. I can't respond to those of you on YouTube. I just don't have the ability to do it here. But I have been called out by Philip Birch, who says, Ballou made a mistake last break. He's too cool to take comments. Ballou was never in the military. I was at Oktoberfest in 1983. Okay, for starters, I've never said that I was in the military. I don't know where the hell you came up with that, Philip. Secondly, too cool to take comments? No one is more interactive with listeners than we are. I respond to everyone, or just as many as I possibly can, on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And again, I say at least once a show that I can't respond right now on YouTube because I just don't have the technology. So let me know what I made a mistake on. And who the heck said that I was in the military? Did I even mention the military during the show tonight?
You've never mentioned the military.
Man, funny stuff. All right, let's get to Walker Little. Caught up with the left tackle after practice number 10 at the Miller Electric Center.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
It's Tuesday edition here at the Miller Athletic Center. We're with Walker Little, and some good teamwork for you guys today.
Yeah, teamwork and defense played well today. Offensively we got to pick it up, but it's ebbs and flows of camp.
Third week of camp. What's your impression so far of this new staff, including, obviously Liam Cohen?
Yeah, they've done a great job just establishing a good culture, as well as just the new playbook, new offense. We've been coming along and getting a lot better.
Camp's a grind. It feels like you guys are enjoying yourself. Am I wrong, though? I see smiles on faces. It just feels like there's a new energy here with this football team.
Yeah, no, I think we got a great culture right now. Guys are enjoying being around each other. Still a lot of hard work. But yeah, I think guys can tell that we're getting better, and they'll put a smile on anyone's face.
How difficult is this, Walker? Third center in 3 years for you now, as far as cadence and just understanding everything that's going on with this offensive line.
Yeah, Rob's doing a great job for us stepping in, coming over from Tampa. Obviously, he was with Liam, so it helps that he knew the offense to come in with, and yeah, he's doing a great job with us. Him and Trevor are synced up, so they're doing a great job.
Where is the offensive line right now?
I think we're doing a really good job. We've really been putting an emphasis on running the ball this year. Just taking pressure off the quarterback and getting the run game going. To be a successful team, you got to be able to run the ball. So I think we're doing a really good job of that so far this camp, and we just got to keep working.
Yeah, it's been a real hungry backfield. No matter who gets the ball, it seems like, hey, look, this is what I can do.
Yeah, the running backs are doing a really good job, both in the run game and pass protection.
Last one for you, Walker. Obviously, your responsibility in the offensive line, but what's it like to see all this speed now? You had Tootin, and of course, you bring in Hunter and Brown to go with Thomas Jr. Just the speed of this offense.
Yeah, we got a lot of speed outside and with the running back, so it's really nice. Guys getting open, guys running around, and then definitely once they get the ball in their hands, they're special.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Speed was evident again today, and as I said, it also included the return of Bayshell Tootin, who I still think is going to be a big part of this thing. And when it's all said and done, they have 5 backs, 3 rookies that, have done the job, but that is a pressing need. That is a huge component. You have to run the ball. And Liam Cohen took the worst rushing offense in the NFL a year ago in Tampa and made him the 4th best rushing offense in Tampa. He had a better offensive line. I don't know if he has better backs, okay? I don't know if he has better wide receivers, even though Godwin and Evans were hurt. Mike Evans obviously is a Hall of Famer. But it's the offensive line, and that's what it comes down to. It feels like the conversations during the offseason, certainly myself included, was if a job is going to be captured by a backup, it's going to be on the left side. It's either going to be Ezra Cleveland or it's going to be Walker Little. I believe right now they're fully invested in Little. You can make the case that he's not their guy, right? Bulky re-signed him, and the timing of the re-signing and everything that happened, let's face it, was bizarre. Now, we've seen some of these contracts that have come down for offensive linemen. It can go either way here. If Walker Little picks up his game, if Walker Little takes that step, he could end up being an enormous bargain at left tackle. If it goes the other way, it's problematic. If he gets injured, it's problematic. Again, that's a question mark. There's really no other way that you can define that right now. And as we said, both yesterday and today, Anton Harrison worked at left tackle a little bit during the scrimmage. We know that 22 of his 23 starts at Oklahoma was at the left tackle position. Yet the former regime never played guys at positions they played in college. They're always the smartest men in the room, so they put him on the right side. Who knows what's going to happen there? With Anton Harrison. This new regime, at least enough forethought to practice him over there. Cleveland's been better than expected, is what I'm, being told. I'll make no bones about it. Never going to lie to you, okay? The offensive line, to me, is always the hardest position group to analyze. And that's why I lean on, a lot of former players and what have you. By the way, this practice was so bad today offensively. It was great because I was with Dave Campo, and he was so excited. He's like, this is the best practice they've had yet.
Don't you love that?
It was great because he had such a defensive mind. And anyway, it was Mark Duffner was out there today. I know Mark's going to come on tomorrow with Primetime. And I'm going to have Mark on next week. 50 years of coaching, 22 in college, 28 in the NFL. And, he really got, one of his big beginnings was at Holy Cross, which I live not too far away from. That is in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is the second biggest city behind Boston. So, Hainsey ain't going anywhere. Then you get to the right side. And it's like, man, they invested a lot in Patrick McCarry. He's got to be a starter, right? He has to be a starter. He's been injured, came back, practiced again today. But you look at Chuma Edoga, and it's like, hey, listen, I last year, I don't mind being wrong. Last year, I thought Christian Braswell had one of the best camps for defensive backs. And he didn't make the team. He gave a reception today, by the way, to Cephas, but he also came back and made a really good play. I still think there's a chance for Christian Braswell. Will he make the roster? I'd say probably not, but I hope they can bury him again on the practice squad. So I may be wrong here on the Edoga conversation, but talking with people, that seems to be the consensus so far. So, I mean, could it be Edoga at right guard and Harrison at right tackle? I mean, you look at money, and money's important. Money's a factor. Ego's a factor, right? Pacelli's an offensive lineman. He signed off with Gladstone on bringing in these offensive linemen. But the bottom line is you have to win. That's where you're going to be measured, with wins and losses. If Edoga, who they also brought in, is outplaying him, is that where the job is captured? There's a lot of time left. I mean, it's only, August 5th? And they're going to certainly get after it the rest of this week with the preseason game coming up. You're going to get a good look next week when they get to practice against Miami. I think that's next week. Is it next week or is it the week after? Whatever. I know they got 2 road games. Fascinating. All right, let's get to you. Let's do that right now. After or when we do return, let's take questions from you. 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, questions where I cannot respond on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
John Osher knows Jacksonville football like Jack's Beach knows the ocean. That makes two of us. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since 94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm 1010XL's Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my takes and weekend updates on YouTube and Facebook. Musings with the media mogul. That's right, motivated by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Maxed out on credit card, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tuesday night in Duval, Jacksonville back at it tomorrow morning. Miller Electric Center. Thursday as well. And then they'll be off Friday. We'll get ready for preseason game number 1. Saturday night, again, all the coverage. Just keep it right here. I believe they kick it off at around 3 p.m. Is that right, Dylan? Do you know? 3 p.m., 4 p.m.?
For the Saturday?
Yes.
Preseason should be at 7 o'clock.
Game at 7, but the pregame.
Oh, the pregame.
Probably 3 or 4.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, because
okay.
I'm running the board.
There you go. So that'll be cool.
That just reminded me that I have to be here Saturday.
Well, getting into the stadium is no fun. You know, and I appreciate what they're doing. Mark Lamping sent a letter. It's going to be, in the long run, worth it. But, don't leave your house at 6:15 and think you're just going to settle in nicely and get there. It's going to take some time with this construction. But, it's going to be worth it, certainly a few years from now. I said that Trayvon Walker has been nothing short of spectacular so far. I haven't mentioned enough and really deserves a lot of credit is Jordan Lewis. It feels like if you were ranking free agents so far, who's the best free agent, I think a lot of people would go Diami Brown, even though there was some struggles early on. He really came on. He looks the part at wide receiver, to be a great part of that threesome with Thomas Jr. and Hunter. Jordan Lewis has been so consistent. I mean, every single day, this man makes plays. Today, he picked off Trevor Lawrence. It was the 4th pick of training camp for Lawrence. It was a ball. It was a tight window to Parker Washington, and, it was a diving interception by Lewis. He did the same thing a couple of practices ago. It was a Nick Mullins ball. And Lewis, almost like an identical situation, dove for the ball and came up with it. This organization only had 8 defensive takeaways last year. I put it on Twitter earlier in the morning during individual drills. With secondary coach Ron Milas. Again, they're working on takeaways, all sorts of different things. It is a huge part of training camp, as it should be, after really being embarrassing a year ago. They had 9 takeaways, but only 8 on the defense. He also had a sack today, which tells you a little bit more about the Anthony Campanelli expected defense. We saw a nice sack from Devin Lloyd, who's just flying across the football field. Flying. And looks good, in the second layer. Then you go to your secondary, and we saw it again with Jordan Lewis. I just feel like and certainly others have mentioned him, and he's been written about. But this man, because I remember when they signed the 2 DBs, I was like, really? Jordan Lewis, the guy's going to be 30 on August 31st. And, I would think that, this team would have stressed perhaps trying to get younger. They also signed Eric Murray, who's going to be 31 this year as a safety. But, Murray's looked good. But so far, Jordan Lewis has looked absolutely fantastic. And, I don't think there's any doubt about it. He should, I think right now, be your starter at corner in base and then move to nickel once they go to that defense. And I would say right now it's Jarian Jones, who I think would be the starter. Buster Brown going out hurt him. There's no question. And, of course, there's Travis Hunter, which is man, it's a pleasure to watch. 80s 25 Ballou. Smelling salts are big in weightlifting. Okay. I see that. Okay. 43-55 Ballou has T learned how to throw with touch yet. He's gotten better. He's obviously talking about Trevor Lawrence and, the 100 mile an hour ball that he can throw. And there's been times where he's done that, including to Parker Washington. But I do think there's been better touch so far with Trevor Lawrence. And, it's a major part of his development where they've literally done everything as far as changes head to toe with his footwork. I would say better, yes. Perfect, no. 50-40, Ballou, help me. I think we are going to suck. No, I think the team has a chance to win the division. I do. There's so much that needs to be fixed, right? I mean, the question I asked Trevor Lawrence today, why isn't he on the same page with Brian Thomas Jr.? What's going on there? That has to improve. And again, I always say after that he's a better game day player than he is going to be a practice player. Okay. I think the rest of the wide receivers will look good. I think the running backs will look good. I'm really worried about the offensive line. No escaping that. I'm really worried about the offensive line. Okay. And also right now, even though they had another good day today, you got to wonder a little bit what's going on in the interior defensive line with this story with Arik Armstead. I mean, they brought in Austin Johnson yesterday. Maybe he can give them a few games if in fact, Armstead's not ready. But no, this is a improved football. Listen, this is a better coached football team. This is a football team with a better attitude. This is a football team. You hear about culture all the time. Typically, you only hear about culture when you're losing, and it's the lack of it. You're hearing about a positive culture here. Now, that can all change if you don't knock off Carolina. But I would disagree with that, okay? I don't think the national media is as high on this team as some in the local media. When we did our picks, what did I have them at, 8-7? I know we'll do it again before the season actually begins.
Yeah, I think we had 8 or 9. Yeah. I think everybody had them at 8 or 9. Some people had them at 10.
8-7. No, 8-9. 8-9 is what I had them at. We'll go over it again. We'll go over to the plenty of German beers, food. Yeah, getting a lot of stuff on that. Thank you very much. 53-51 sounds like another year, another bad Jaguars offensive line. What is this now? 25 out of 30 years of a bad offensive line. Infuriating at this point. Same thing every year from the 53-51. Indeed. They've drafted. They've signed. Hasn't worked. Okay? It may this year. It may. Need some live bullets. Hopefully Mike Tomlin and Liam Cohen get on the same page and they agree that at least for a couple of series, we're going to see starters on Saturday night. Would love to be able to see that. And the most important part to me right out of the gate is, can they run the football? I'm really happy with what you're seeing with these running backs. I mean, each one, when they're given a shot, it's like they're so hungry. I mean, all the ETN stuff clouded about him getting moved, and this is his final year in town. Tank Bigsby, and this won't be a big part of his role, I wouldn't think, but, he showed soft hands today. He went down the sideline with a reception that was the best that I've seen Tank Bigsby do at the receiver position, perhaps ever. And I told you about it a week or so ago. He made a move with some wiggle in the at the line of scrimmage that I frankly did not know that Tank had in him. I think Tank's primed to have a really good year. And then you got these young backs. Tuden, who can fly, Wyatt Milam, Milam's the offensive lineman. You get to Quentin Allen. And these two are very good in pass pro. I think that's something that has to really be considered here. If you're struggling with your 5 offensive linemen, are you going to go more double tight? Last year, Liam Cohen, if you look at personnel with his offensive 11, the second highest category of plays run was in a two tight end set. Having a running back in who's best in pass protection. That's really, really important here, right? I mean, when it comes to chipping or when it comes to picking up someone who's blitzing, who do you have the most faith in out of these running backs to do that in front of Trevor Lawrence? If the ball is designed to go to Strange or one of the wide receivers, you understand where I'm going? And it's going to be a big... We haven't seen those two-back sets. Or if so, I've just missed out on it. But I wonder if that's something that they could possibly add. Some pony, running a 21. All right. Typically you'd have a really good offensive line if you were to do something like that. Yeah, Urban Meyer for the 6185. Appreciate it, but I'm not going to go there. Grolsch beer. I remember that. It had that great kind of beer top that you would flip, if I remember correctly. I was told this when it comes to beers. Again, if you can correct me, please do. But do you know why most beers are twist-offs when you have to take a bottle opener and open it? Any idea why one is one way and one is the other?
Never thought about it.
Well, I have. I spent a lot of time drinking alone. And, it's really awful when you have to run to the kitchen or ask someone for a bottle opener. But from my understanding, there's no difference at all. It just feels more exquisite to have to open it with a bottle opener.
Yeah, it does. So it feels good.
I'm trying to remember where I was a couple of years ago. I think I was on a golf cart. Oh, it was frightening, and with no bottle opener. And you're trying to open it against the side of the golf cart, and it gets
off your shirt,
gets all foamy, and all that. But again, I mean, listen, we enjoy getting corrected around here. So if you can tell me if that's right or wrong, please let us know. Smokey and the Bandit in chorus. Tell them the whole point of Smokey Bandit in the chorus. Yeah, you've never seen Smokey and the Bandit, I take it?
I've seen it a couple times.
Really?
I've never seen it from beginning to end in one sitting, but I've seen the whole movie at different portions, if that makes sense.
Junior. Yeah.
Yeah. My parents watched it a lot growing up.
4704 Blue with Jarian Jones solidify the cornerback position number 2 spot, given his camp and Hunter being named wide receiver number 2. I don't know. I actually just went through that. I think that Jordan Lewis has proven that he is that guy. Although most of his experience is in the slot, I think that once they do go to that nickel defense, Jones right now is absolutely corner number 2, and they slide Jones inside. But, they maneuver quite a bit. And this can be really, again, another huge part of this, hopefully turning things around for Jaguar fans about how they're going to use this secondary. I think the secondary has had a good camp. I had someone yesterday text and say, that he was really down on the safety position, how it's been really bad. And I was like, well, man, I disagree with that. First off, as a unit, this secondary looks faster and far more physical. That's what you notice. Tyson Campbell's had a really good camp, just bragged about Jordan Lewis. Jarian Jones has looked really good. I think Braswell at times has looked good. Still, this McPherson kid has come up with a couple of picks, including the one in the end zone during the scrimmage the other night from Trevor Lawrence. You have to consider him. Deontay Prince is a guy that, there's still an opportunity there. I think when it's all said with Prince. So I still think they would like to develop players like that. You understand what I'm getting at? And, Prince isn't as long as some of the other guys. He's about 5'11", 6 foot or so. But still, he's made some good plays. He has showed out at times during camp. All right, we got much more to do. Take you up until 8 o'clock if you want to continue with the questions. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
The Coke Zero Sugar 400 returns as the NASCAR Cup Series regular season finale. Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 23rd. Who has the most victories in the Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who has the most victories in the Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Toss are here for lifetime enclosures and lifetime flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
What is the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth? The answer next.
There's always a good reason to compare homeowners' insurance rates. You may be paying too much. Protect your home with a Southern Oak insurance policy today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The coldest temperature ever recorded was in Antarctica in July of 1983. An unbelievably cold minus 128.6 degrees.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Day 10 at the Miller Electric Center was a day of firsts for Travis Hunter. 9 offensive plays, 9 defensive plays. Put on a white penny over the teal jersey, went from offense to defense, including 6 consecutive plays. Never came off the field. So, yeah. Liam Cohen told us that, you know, there's more to come in this particular way of looking at things. Just more and more and more national folks in. Jarrett Bell, who I'll talk with on Thursday. I love Jarrett Bell of the USA Today. I had a nice conversation with him about Travis Hunter. I believe he's doing a feature on Travis Hunter. So overall, the offense struggled. It was the worst day so far for the offense, particularly the offensive line. Slow and friendly. And the defense ate them up. I mean, the defense right now, boy, the guys that you would expect. Foye Lucan had a hit today. And I won't mention his name, but the comment came up, and they moved him to, they moved him out of the middle linebacker position a year ago. I mean, just nuts. Allen has been so good, Hines Allen and Walker, and I just talked about Jordan Lewis. And Campbell and Lloyd looks so much faster. So, I got a text a while back saying, we're going to be terrible again. It's like, no, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of improvement with this team, but it doesn't happen overnight. 61-21 heading into the night. Crew calling out the bad back. I'm thinking Armstead caught the Jalen Ramsey. Both had bad backs. Jags need to move on. Number 12 needs to start both ways. There's no comparison between Arik Armstead and Jalen Ramsey. I understand your point, but Ramsey was in the prime of his career. Arik Armstead is he's getting ready for his 11th season, and he's got a huge contract. Jalen was on his rookie contract. I don't think you can get anything for Arik Armstead. Or maybe the better way to say it is, I don't think there's a team out there that would be willing to take on that contract. You just got to hope that Armstead sees the light here. I mean, on the surface, you match him. Armstead is a better human being than Ramsey. And I love Ramsey. But Ramsey wears out his welcome stop about every 3 years. And the guy, for crying out loud, threw Vic Fangio under the bus. I mean, it doesn't matter. Armstead's supposed to be like, the second Calais Campbell here. I would just think it would mean so much to him. And again, we just don't know the story. He could legitimately be hurt. He could. We don't know the answer to that question. So, 0981 Blue, what do you think the Jags' record will be this season? I had them 8-9 when we did it when the schedule came out. We always do it again right before the start of the regular season, right? And the reason for that is obviously injuries. Not only here, but throughout the AFC South and everything else. I think the total right now in Vegas is what? 7 and a hook? I play the over. I think they win 8 games. I think there's a real possibility they could win 9 games. Is the number the same in Vegas?
Yeah, still 7.5.
That's where I'm at with that. I think that's fair. And the national media just doesn't look at it that way. I mean, the national media, and including people that I talk with, they're not convinced. Coaching comes up, and it's not always positive. The reason being is lack of experience. I know it was ESPN. They came up with something, a couple of days ago. They ranked Jacksonville 31 out of 32 as far as coaching staffs. And some of the primary reasons for that was only 5 years in the NFL for Liam Cohen, only 1 year in the NFL Colin plays, and he didn't surround himself with veteran coaches. I mean, he brought in a first-time 29-year-old offensive coordinator. He brought in a first-time defensive coordinator. You have a first-time front office. First time, there's going to be mistakes made. He obviously put his staff together the way that he wanted to. I think they've really been coaching him up. I'm impressed with what I've seen as far as the coaching. But, these things will really begin to amount. If I don't think this will be the case because he's too talented, but if Brian Thomas Jr. struggles as he has in camp, then you're going to start pointing fingers. Is that Edgar Bennett's fault, the wide receiver coach? Is that Trevor Lawrence's fault? Is this the offensive scheme's fault? Again, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's a really good game day player. He's still, in my opinion, the best player on this team. I'm just giving you a hypothetical. And it's so amazing to look at it this way. But it's important, and it is the truth. Week 1 in the NFL means nothing outside of 1-0 or 0-1. That's it. End of story. Period. There's nothing else that needs to be said. But this year, with this team, in this city, for so many different reasons, man, you have got to knock off Carolina in week 1. And it's more of the attitude, the culture, not only with the 53 players, but the entire freaking city. I mean, again, I hate to tell you this, but last year had to have been just so disappointing for you. Because this team it's like they laughed in your face. They said, watch this. We're going to lose all 4 games in September. They basically looked at you, led by Doug Peterson, and said, we will give you nothing to celebrate the entire year outside of an early lead against Miami. But you lose to Carolina, all of a sudden you go to Cincinnati? And then you have Houston, and you go to San Fran? I mean, that's big. That's really, really big. 2 road trips that are nasty. At Cincinnati, at San Francisco. Divisional duel with Houston. So, again, it's not a must-win. That'd be foolish for anyone to ever say a week 1 must-win. No. But for the reasons that I just gave you, that game here in Jacksonville is huge to get things started. All right, final thoughts on this particular Tuesday. We'll do that on the other side. Get you ready for Hacker Nation, who begins at 8 o'clock.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
You wouldn't drive your car 50,000 miles without an oil change. So why are you ignoring your septic tank?
That thing's working round the clock, taking every flush, shower, and mystery casserole down the line. Eventually, it fills up. And when it does, you do not want to find out the hard way. Don't wait for the stink. Septic tanks need to be pumped every 3 to 5 years. Call 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic pump out with the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Buying a diamond, wedding band, or piece of fashion jewelry in Jacksonville? You have two choices. You can go to locally owned Beard's Diamonds, or you can go to one of those mega national chain jewelry stores. The national chains are pretty much all the same. In fact, did you know that some of them are owned by the same conglomerate? Yes, the same Wall Street company owns all the big names. So if you're looking for extreme value with genuine personal attention, come experience the Beard's Diamond difference. At Beard's, our diamonds come straight from the source. We hand select each one for maximum brilliance. We don't have to apply corporate markups and tack on salespeople commissions, so we beat the chains on price every single day. Beard's has the strongest warranties, not gotcha clauses in fine print. Beard's has all the top designers, including Tacori and Viraggio. Beard's doesn't have out-of-state regional managers calling about sales quotas. We are all local, family-owned with total freedom to do what's right for our customers. Beard's Diamonds, all the selection, quality, value, and service you want from local people, accountable only to you. Beard's in the St. John's Town Center.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, every day feels like the weekend. Fresh, never frozen chicken wings, tossed in over 30 bold flavors, paired with ice-cold beer and handcrafted cocktails. All in a laid-back, beachy atmosphere. And with every game on the big screens, it's the ultimate escape. And you're home for sports, too. Great food, cold drinks, and all the games. That's Hurricane Grill and Wings. Escape the ordinary and find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, today was a big day as far as storylines involved with the Jaguars. Day number 10 at the Miller Electric Center. Back out there in the morning. Travis Hunter was really the story. Went both ways. 9 offensive plays during 11-on-11. 9 defensive plays during 11-on-11. The offensive line pushed around today in pass protection. It was not a good showing. It was really bad offensively. Liam Cohen talked on it. And Liam as well. Trevor Lawrence. 5 offensive line penalties. The defense took advantage of it. The defensive line got massive push, both in teamwork and individual work. Jordan Lewis has been outstanding. He had a diving interception on a Lawrence throw to Washington. It just seems like day after day after day, Jordan Lewis makes plays. I asked Liam Cohen about starters for Saturday night. Doesn't know. They have a plan. He's talking with Tony Baselli and James Gladstone. I also asked him if he had reached out to Mike Tomlin to get an idea on what Pittsburgh is going to do Saturday night. He said, yes, they've gone back and forth via text. So that is still to be determined. Arik Armstead remains on a milk carton. This story is growing. Right now, there feels like there's a little bit of uncertainty. I thought Cohen said all the right things about he's a veteran and he hopes he's ready for week 1, but at this point, he does not know. I don't know what to make of it. I just don't. He's got a bad back. Okay. He's missing reps. He's a leader. This is a new scheme. They need him out there. They need him working. And again, if he comes up, plays against Carolina, performs well, this story goes away. But right now, it's growing. No doubt. It is. So, that is the latest there. Man, I just got a ton tonight on the text line. I wish I could respond to more of you, but that is just physically impossible here over the two hours that I am on the radio. So anyway, good stuff. Wyatt Milam moved around a lot today on offense, including left tackle. He's been playing multiple positions. Chuma Edoga working at right guard today. I think there's people out there who believe that he has been arguably the best offensive lineman so far in camp. The return of Patrick McCarry getting in a little bit of work today as well for Jacksonville. And, that's basically it. It feels like they're starting to get a little bit healthier offensively here late in training camp than perhaps what we saw a couple of weeks ago, the exception being Jalen McLeod. He remains out with a lower body. Of course, another rookie, Caleb Ransaw, with the lower body. I watched Mason Smith work today. He's still on the PUP. And, of course, Buster Brown gone for camp. Cole Van Lannon is gone for camp. But that is basically it as far as guys who are unable to go right now because of injuries.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hacker Nation is here. Welcome, young man.
Yeah, look, I know you asked Liam Cohen about the starters. He was didn't really comment on it, so he was going to talk with Mike Tomlin, which I thought was interesting, see what Pittsburgh was planning on doing. I got the vibe, though, body language, whatever. I mean, I'm obviously not a detective, but my gut tells me that the starters, or at least some of the starters, are not going to play for the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you felt about his answer, his body language, or just the vibe out there. Asking Trevor Lawrence the same thing. I just get the vibe that they're not going to play a lot of those guys.
And I get the feeling they'd like to play him, but if I was a betting man right now, there's no way Aaron Rodgers is playing here on Saturday.
No. I am actually going to go to Pittsburgh, talk to a couple of Steeler guys. In fact, tomorrow and Thursday, I think it's going to be the Will Howard show. Now, Will Howard, the quarterback that won the national title for Ohio State.
Star.
Yeah, well, Kansas State, and then he went to the Buckeyes. Now, he hurt his finger today. It's not thought to be serious. But no, Aaron Rodgers might be on the 17th at Sawgrass when the game is kicked off on Saturday night. That might be his level of interaction with the city of Jacksonville.
Yeah, going to be intriguing. Yeah, I don't think Jalen plays. They got a lot of personalities. They got a lot of big name players right now. But and I want to say we may have chatted about this even last night. But that's why I asked Cohen that question. It feels odd with 3 preseason games. I mean, forever when you had 4, you basically knew the blueprint of how to handle a preseason. Jacksonville's won their last 6 preseason games, and then they can't win in September.
Yeah, it's crazy. And when you consider the way it's laid out this year, they got the joint practice with Miami, which means they're not going to play anybody against Miami. Usually with those joint practices, you don't actually play anybody in the game. You would imagine you'd see them next week in New Orleans, but again, I don't know how much you're going to see against Pittsburgh. So new offense, new defense, a lot of new players. I don't think we're going to see a lot of these guys until September 7th, and we'll just hope for the best against Carolina.
You more concerned right now with the offensive line or the interior defensive line?
The interior defensive line is becoming worrisome. I thought the offensive line today did not have a good day. I thought by and large the offensive line's been all right during camp. But the interior defensive line, look, your 2 main guys are not out there. Mason Smith's on the PUP. He works off to the side. Hopefully he'll be fine by Carolina. The Arik Armstead thing is getting weird. I mean, it's to the point now. Last week or a week and a half ago, it was noteworthy. Now it's weird. 2 weeks from now, it will officially be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But right now, it's just a weird vibe about Armstead and what actually is going on there.
Yeah. And I think anything could happen. There could be a story that comes out, or, I'm really surprised because of what I heard during the offseason, during OTAs and minicamp, that he was pretty close to perfect as far as leadership and embracing the new staff and new players.
Now, let me ask you this. The Jaguars have money, right? Trevor Lawrence had a college teammate at Clemson, was a pretty good defensive tackle. Last time I checked, he's available, a guy named Christian Wilkins. Now, there are injury concerns with Christian Wilkins, and he got released from the Raiders reportedly for some weird thing that went on in the locker room. There was a lot of odd surroundings to that. But Christian Wilkins is a hell of a football player.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know how he would fit in Campanelli's scheme. I guess I'm not smart enough to know that. But I know he's pretty good when he's healthy, and he's a position the Jaguars need, and he's just sitting out there, and the Jaguars do have some money.
Yeah, and, I'm sure they've vetted that situation, and they've talked to Trevor and players like that, but, they've probably gotten the very latest as to what is going on with Oakland. Certainly, he has got the pedigree to play, but again, there are some off the field issues plus injury issues. So only time will tell. All right, what else tonight?
Yeah, Jaguar training camp 1-on-1 with rookie running back LaQuint Allen. Boy, he's made kind of an impact pretty early here. I'm going to ask him. He runs violently, man. He runs with aggression. Where did that come from? I think you'll enjoy his answer. So that conversation's coming up. Former Gator All-American wide receiver Riedel Anthony is going to join me to talk about Billy Napier, DJ Lagway. I'm also going to ask Riedel about the whole Travis Hunter deal. And it's not every night, Rick, you get 99 years of coaching experience. I'll have both Dave Campo and Mark Duffner joining me this evening.
There you go. The very latest there from Hacker Nation. Saw both those young gentlemen out at the Miller Electric Center earlier today. All right, have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, buddy.
There he goes. That's Hacker Nation. Thank you to Walker Little for joining us. Thank you to you. Again, I don't check the text line out. The show is over. And try to respond to most of you. I'm unable to respond to you on YouTube, but I appreciate you checking us out anyway. Hey, tomorrow morning, they're back at it. Practice number 11. That'll be early on a Wednesday at the Miller Electric Center. Look forward to getting out there and catching the very latest on the Jaguars. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll be back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, right here on your home of the Jags.